I'm going to tell you what might be the single most important story for mastering your English listening skills. It's a story about a young man who discovered that the greatest rewards in life are never free. So listen closely. You won't just improve your English, you'll also learn an unforgettable lesson about life. The story is called The Baker's Dream. Introduction. In a small, quiet town, tucked between green hills and a winding river, lived a young man named Leo. His town was a simple place. The houses were old, made of stone and wood, and the streets were narrow. Everybody knew everybody, and life moved at a slow, easy pace. Leo lived with his family in a small house with a little garden. They were a kind and loving family, but they didn't have much money. They had enough to eat and a safe place to sleep, but there wasn't much left over for big dreams. And Leo had a dream, a very specific one. He wanted to be a baker. This wasn't just a casual wish, it was a fire inside him. Whenever he walked past the only bakery in town, he would stop and close his eyes. He could almost smell the warm bread. He could imagine the sweet scent of cakes and pastries. He could see the happy faces of people buying his creations. In his mind, his bakery was a bright, warm place filled with laughter and the most wonderful smells in the world. He dreamed of a place where he could create something beautiful with his own 2 hands and share it with everyone. But a dream isn't a bakery. To build a bakery, you need money. He needed an oven, flour, sugar, and a small shop to sell his bread. And Leo had no money. His heart felt heavy whenever he thought about this. How could he possibly build his dream with empty pockets? He knew his family couldn't help him. They needed every coin they had just to get by. For a while, the dream felt impossible, like a distant star he could see but never touch. Rising action. One evening, Leo made a decision. He wasn't going to let his dream die. If he had no money, he would earn it. The next morning, he woke before the sun, walked to the town's market, and started looking for work. He didn't find a job at a bakery. Instead, he found a job washing dishes at a busy inn. The work was grueling. His hands were always wet and sore. He worked long hours, from early morning until late at night, washing hundreds of plates, cups, and spoons. At the end of each day, his body was tired and his back ached. But Leo never complained. While he washed the dishes, he thought about his bakery. He imagined the smooth dough in his hands. He pictured the warm glow of the oven. That dream was his fuel. It gave him strength. Every week he got his small payment. He was incredibly careful with his money, buying only what he absolutely needed, simple food and a room to sleep in. He put every single remaining coin into a small wooden box. That box was his treasure. It was the foundation of his dream. Months passed, and the box grew heavier. A year went by, then 2. Leo's life was simple and repetitive: work, eat, sleep. But he wasn't unhappy. He knew that every day of hard work brought him one step closer to his goal. He was learning the value of patience and discipline. He was learning day by day that dreams demand hard work and sacrifice. One day, he counted his money. He had just enough to buy a very old, small oven from a man who was closing his little restaurant. The oven was rusty and ancient, but it was a start. Leo felt a surge of excitement. This was the first real piece of his dream. He used the rest of his savings to rent a tiny room behind the market. It wasn't a shop, it was just a small, dark space with a stone floor. But for Leo, it was the beginning of his bakery. His first try at baking was a complete disaster. He tried to bake a simple loaf of bread. He mixed the flour and water, but the dough just felt wrong, way too sticky. He put it in the old oven, but the oven's heat was uneven. One side of the bread was burnt black, while the other was still raw. He tried again. The next loaf was as hard as a rock. He tried a third time, and that one didn't rise at all. It was just a flat, dense brick. Leo felt his hopes start to crumble. His heart pounded, and his mouth went dry. He had spent all his money. He had worked for 2 years. For what? For burnt bread and hard dough? He sank to the cold stone floor and buried his head in his hands. Maybe this was just a foolish dream. Maybe he wasn't meant to be a baker. Failure felt like a heavy stone crushing his chest. Just then, an old man walked past his open door. It was Mr. Elmsworth, the town's old baker. He was retired now, but everyone knew he had been the best baker in the entire region. He peeked inside and saw Leo on the floor, surrounded by his failed attempts. Mr. Elmsworth didn't laugh. He looked at Leo, then at the burnt bread, and he saw the mix of passion and frustration in the young man's eyes. He walked into the small room. Baking isn't just about flour and water, it's about feeling. It's about understanding the dough, the fire, the time. It's a dance. Leo looked up, surprised. Mr. Elmsworth didn't offer him money or offer to bake for him. Instead, he started to teach him. He showed Leo how to feel the dough and know when it was just right. He explained that the old oven had hot spots and cold spots. He taught Leo that failure isn't the end, it's a teacher. It's a chance to learn and get better. For many weeks, Leo practiced. Every day after his shift at the inn, he went to his small room and baked. Mr. Elmsworth would visit and offer advice. Slowly, Leo's bread began to change. It was no longer burnt or hard. The loaves started to rise, soft on the inside and crispy on the outside. A wonderful smell started to fill his small room, and with Mr. Elmsworth's guidance, Leo's determination grew stronger than ever. The day finally came when Leo felt he was ready. He had saved a tiny bit more money and spent it all on a bag of flour, some sugar, and yeast. He decided to bake through the night and try to sell his bread in the morning. Since he didn't have a shop, he planned to sell from a small table in front of his room. All night, Leo worked. He mixed the dough, his hands moving with a new confidence. He shaped the loaves with care. He understood his old oven now, knowing just how to turn the bread so it would bake perfectly. As the sun began to rise, he pulled the last loaves from the oven. The room was filled with a scent so wonderful it made his heart sing. He had 10 perfect loaves of bread. He set up a small wooden table outside his door and placed the 10 loaves on it. They were golden brown and smelled incredible. He stood behind his table, his heart pounding with a mix of hope and terror. The market started to get busy. People walked past his table, glancing at his bread, but no one stopped. They were all heading to the big, familiar bakery. An hour passed, then another. Not a single person had bought his bread. The sun climbed higher and Leo's bread began to cool. His hope started to curdle into despair. His legs felt weak. The silence was deafening. He was just about to give up, to pack his bread away, when a little girl stopped. She pulled on her mother's dress. "Mama, smell," she said, pointing right at Leo's table. The mother paused. She looked at the bread, then at Leo's anxious face. She walked closer, picked up a loaf, and inhaled. "It smells wonderful," she said. "How much is it?" Leo's voice was a whisper as he told her the price. She handed him the coins. "We'll try your bread today," she said with a warm smile. She was his first customer. That one small act of kindness was like the sun breaking through the clouds. Leo watched the woman and her daughter walk away with his bread, a single tear rolling down his cheek, a tear of relief, of gratitude, and of pure joy. A few moments later, another person stopped, then another. They had heard the mother telling her friends about the delicious-smelling bread from the little room behind the market. By noon, all 10 loaves were gone. The next day, Leo baked 20 loaves. They all sold. The day after that, he baked 30. Soon he was selling out every single morning. People started talking about the young man who made the most delicious bread in town. They said his bread was made with passion. Leo finally quit his job washing dishes. Now his entire day was dedicated to his bakery. He woke up early and went to bed late. It was hard work, but it was joyful work. He started making other things too, sweet rolls with cinnamon and small cakes with fruit from his family's garden. People loved them. His little room was always busy. He saved his money carefully. After a year, he had enough to rent a proper shop on the main street. It was small, but it had a big, bright window. He painted the walls a warm yellow and bought a better oven. His dream was no longer just in his head. It was real. His bakery became a popular spot in town, always filled with the smell of fresh bread and the sound of happy customers. Leo never forgot the difficult journey. He remembered the long days washing dishes, the burnt bread, and the crushing feeling of failure. He remembered the kindness of Mr. Elmsworth and the smile of his very first customer. These memories kept him humble. They reminded him that success is built on a foundation of hard work and persistence. Years went by. The baker's dream was now the most loved shop in town. Leo was no longer a poor young man. He was a successful business owner, respected and admired by everyone. He had a family of his own, and they lived in a comfortable house. He had everything he had ever dreamed of. But he knew the most important lesson his journey had taught him. His success wasn't a gift. It was earned. Earned through tired muscles, through patience, through learning from his mistakes, and through a belief in his dream that never, ever died. He learned that nothing is free, and the things you work hardest for are the things you value the most. One afternoon, a young woman came into his bakery. She didn't come to buy bread. She stood quietly in a corner just watching Leo work. She looked nervous and shy. Leo walked over to her. "Can I help you?" he asked kindly. The young woman looked at him. "I have a dream," she said softly. "I want to be a painter, but I have no money for paint or canvases." Leo smiled. He saw the same fire in her eyes that he once had in his own. He didn't give her money. Instead, he offered her a job in his shop. "Work here with me," he said. "Save your money. Learn the value of your dream. I will help you, but you have to be the one to build it." The young woman's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. She understood. And in that moment, Leo's story came full circle. He was now the one offering guidance, sharing the most important lesson he had ever learned.
A dream is a beautiful thing, but it's the journey of building it step by step that gives it true meaning. So, what can we take away from Leo's story? It teaches us that dreams demand hard work. It shows us that failure is just a part of success, and it reminds us that true happiness comes from building a life you can be proud of. When you listen to stories like this, you're not just practicing your English, you're learning important lessons for life. If this story inspired you, please press the like button. What dream are you working hard for? Share your dream in the comments below. We would love to read about it. And if you want to listen to more stories that will help you improve your English,
Do you ever feel like learning English is an impossible mountain to climb? You watch videos, you try to speak, you study new words, but after some time you still feel stuck, frustrated and unsure. You make mistakes, you forget what you learned, and sometimes you even think, maybe this is not for me. If you are nodding your head right now, this episode is exactly for you. Today, I am going to share something very special and close to my heart. One English story every English learner must listen to. My friend, let me be honest with you. Sometimes the most powerful lessons do not come from grammar books, heavy dictionaries, or long lectures. They come from simple, heartfelt stories that stay with you for years and give you strength when you need it the most. This is one such story. It has inspired thousands of my students around the world to keep going even when they wanted to quit. I truly believe it can inspire you too. So sit comfortably, take a deep breath, and listen with an open heart. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by tall green mountains and flowing rivers, there lived a young boy named Arjun. From the time he was a small child, Arjun had only one big dream: to become a great musician. He wanted to play the sitar so beautifully that his music would bring peace to people's hearts and travel far beyond the mountains. But life was not easy for him. Arjun came from a poor family. There was no music teacher in the entire village. The only sitar available was very old, dusty, broken, and missing 4 strings. It looked almost useless. When Arjun told the villagers about his dream, they laughed loudly. Some said, "Arjun, you are wasting your time. You have no teacher, no good instrument, and no natural talent. It is impossible for a boy like you." Others advised him, "Forget this dream and help your father in the fields. That is more practical." Even his own friends made fun of him. But Arjun had a fire in his heart that refused to die. Every single morning, long before the sun rose and while the village was still sleeping, he would quietly walk to an old banyan tree near the river. He would sit there with that broken sitar and practice. In the beginning, everything was painful. His fingers were soft and they bled easily. The notes sounded terrible, like noisy crows instead of sweet music. He could not remember the ragas. Many nights he went home with tears in his eyes, feeling hopeless. Sometimes he would think, maybe they are right, maybe I should stop. But every morning he returned to the same banyan tree. He kept practicing even when it rained, even when his body was tired from working in the fields, and even when no one believed in him. A cold winter evening, an old traveler with kind eyes and a long white beard was passing through the village. He stopped near the banyan tree because he heard a faint, struggling melody. It was Arjun practicing again. The old man listened quietly for a long time. After Arjun finished, the old man smiled gently and said, "Your music is not perfect yet, my child, but your heart is pure and your dedication is rare. I am a music master who has taught many students. If you are willing to work hard every single day, I will teach you."
Arjun could not believe his ears. He touched the master's feet with tears of joy. The master gave him only one simple rule: practice every day without fail. Practice when you feel happy. Practice when you feel sad. Especially practice when it sounds bad and when you want to quit. That is when real growth happens. So Arjun followed this rule with all his heart. He practiced in the early mornings and late evenings. He practiced when his fingers were swollen and painful. He practiced when the villagers still laughed behind his back. He practiced when he felt tired, when he felt discouraged, and when he felt like giving up. Slowly, very slowly, small changes began to appear. The old broken sitar started producing clearer notes. His fingers became stronger and faster. The music started flowing like the river near the banyan tree. After 2.5 years of daily practice, Arjun gave his first public performance in the village temple during a big festival. The same people who once laughed at him now sat silently with tears in their eyes. His music was so deep, so beautiful, and so full of emotion that even the birds stopped singing to listen. News of his talent spread to nearby villages and then to the big cities. Years later, Arjun became one of the most respected musicians in the country. When a young reporter asked him, "What is the secret of your success?" Arjun smiled calmly and replied, "I was not specially talented. I was not lucky. I simply refused to quit on the difficult days. Every small practice session was like adding one drop of water to an earthen pot. One drop seems useless, but when you keep adding drops every single day for years, the pot fills up and finally overflows with pure, sweet music." My dear friend, this is not just Arjun's story, this is your English learning story too. Learning English feels exactly like playing that old broken sitar. In the beginning, everything feels difficult. Your pronunciation sounds strange. You forget words in the middle of a sentence. You make grammar mistakes and feel shy to speak. Many people around you may say, "Why are you trying so hard? English is not for everyone." But just like Arjun, you have a choice: to listen to the noise or to keep practicing with a pure heart. Let me share 5 deep and powerful lessons from this story that every English learner must remember and apply in their daily life. First, your starting point does not decide your ending. Arjun started with almost nothing, a broken instrument and no support. You may have started with limited vocabulary, weak grammar, fear of speaking, or a busy schedule. That is completely fine. What matters is not where you start, but that you start and continue with sincerity. Every fluent English speaker you admire today once struggled with basic sentences, just like you.
Second, consistency is more powerful than talent or intelligence. Arjun was not a genius. He became great only because he practiced every single day. You do not need to study English for 4 or 5 hours daily. Even 20 to 30 minutes of focused practice every day, speaking, listening, writing, or reading, will take you much further than irregular big efforts. Small daily drops of practice create an ocean of fluency over time. Third, mistakes are your best teachers. When Arjun's fingers bled and his music sounded terrible, he did not stop. He understood that those painful moments were shaping him. Every mistake you make in English, wrong pronunciation, wrong tense, or forgetting a word, is actually teaching you something important. Do not feel ashamed of mistakes. Celebrate them. They prove you are trying and growing. Fourth, protect your dream from negative voices.
The villagers laughed at Arjun for years, but he stayed focused on his practice and his master's guidance. In your journey, some friends, relatives, or even your own mind may say negative things. Learn to gently ignore that noise. Surround yourself with positive English content, supportive learners, and encouraging words. Protect your dream the same way Arjun protected his music under the banyan tree. Now, I want to be very honest with you. The path of learning English is not always smooth. There will be days when you feel tired, bored, or discouraged. There will be moments when you compare yourself with others and feel behind. But on those exact days, remember Arjun sitting under the old banyan tree with his broken sitar, practicing alone while the rest of the village slept. Remember that every small effort you make today is shaping a stronger, more confident version of you. Here is my special challenge for you today. After listening to this story, take one small action immediately. Record yourself speaking for 1 or 2 minutes about your own dream in English, or write a short paragraph about what Arjun's story taught you. Then commit to one small daily English practice for the next 30 days. It could be learning 5 new words with sentences, speaking for 10 minutes, or listening to one short English story every day. After 1 month, come back to the comments and share your experience. Tell us honestly, did the story give you strength? Did you notice even a little progress? Your words might become someone else's motivation on a difficult day. My friend, your English journey is your own beautiful, unique music. It may sound imperfect today, but if you keep practicing with patience, love, and consistency, one day it will flow naturally and touch many hearts, beginning with your own heart. You are not too late. You are not too old. You are not lacking talent. You only need to keep showing up, just like Arjun. I believe in you. Even if we have never met, I deeply believe in you, because I have seen hundreds of ordinary people, busy mothers, shy students, and working professionals become confident English speakers simply by refusing to quit and practicing one day at a time. You have the same strength, the same heart, and the same potential inside you. So, take a deep breath right now, smile, feel grateful for this moment and for the chance to grow. Then go practice your English with joy in your heart. Make mistakes, learn from them, laugh at them, and keep moving forward. Your future self is already smiling and feeling so proud of you. Thank you so much for spending this long, beautiful time with me. Thank you for caring about your personal growth. Thank you for being part of this journey. I am truly proud of you. Keep listening to inspiring stories, keep practicing every day, and never forget that every great English speaker was once a beginner who decided not to give up. Until next time, practice with love, be kind and patient with yourself, and always remember, your story is still being written, and it can become as beautiful as Arjun's music. You got this. I will see you in the next lesson. Take care, my friend.
Do you ever feel like learning English is an impossible mountain to climb? You watch videos, you try to speak, you study new words, but after some time you still feel stuck, frustrated, and unsure. You make mistakes, you forget what you learned, and sometimes you even think, maybe this is not for me. If you are nodding your head right now, this episode is exactly for you. Today, I am going to share something very special and close to my heart. One English story every learner must listen to. Actually, today I will share two beautiful stories that carry powerful lessons. My friend, let me be honest with you. Sometimes the most powerful lessons do not come from grammar books, heavy dictionaries, or long lectures. They come from simple, heartfelt stories that stay with you for years and give you strength when you need it the most. These two stories have inspired thousands of my students around the world to keep going even when they wanted to quit. I truly believe they can inspire you too. So, sit comfortably, take a deep breath, and listen with an open heart. The first story, The Broken Sitar. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by tall green mountains and flowing rivers, there lived a young boy named Arjun. From the time he was a small child, Arjun had only one big dream: to become a great musician. He wanted to play the sitar so beautifully that his music would bring peace to people's hearts and travel far beyond the mountains. But life was not easy for him. Arjun came from a poor family. There was no music teacher in the entire village. The only sitar available was very old, dusty, broken, and missing 4 strings. It looked almost useless. When Arjun told the villagers about his dream, they laughed loudly. Some said, "Arjun, you are wasting your time. You have no teacher, no good instrument, and no natural talent. It is impossible for a boy like you." Others advised him, "Forget this dream and help your father in the fields. That is more practical." Even his own friends made fun of him. But Arjun had a fire in his heart that refused to die. Every single morning, long before the sun rose, and while the village was still sleeping, he would quietly walk to an old banyan tree near the river. He would sit there with that broken sitar and practice. In the beginning, everything was painful. His fingers were soft and they bled easily. The notes sounded terrible, like noisy crows instead of sweet music. He could not remember the ragas. Many nights he went home with tears in his eyes, feeling hopeless. Sometimes he would think, maybe they are right, maybe I should stop. But every morning he returned to the same banyan tree. He kept practicing even when it rained, even when his body was tired from working in the fields, and even when no one believed in him. One cold winter evening, an old traveler with kind eyes and a long white beard was passing through the village. He stopped near the banyan tree because he heard a faint, struggling melody. It was Arjun practicing again. The traveler listened quietly for a long time. After Arjun finished, the old man smiled gently and said, "Your music is not perfect yet, my child, but your heart is pure and your dedication is rare. I am a music master who has taught many students. If you are willing to work hard every single day, I will teach you." Arjun could not believe his ears. He touched the master's feet with tears of joy. The master gave him only one simple rule: practice every day without fail. Practice when you feel happy, practice when you feel sad, practice especially when it sounds bad and when you want to quit. That is when real growth happens. So Arjun followed this rule with all his heart. He practiced in the early mornings and late evenings. He practiced when his fingers were swollen and painful. He practiced when the villagers still laughed behind his back. He practiced when he felt tired, when he felt discouraged, and when he felt like giving up. Slowly, very slowly, small changes began to appear. The old broken sitar started producing clearer notes. His fingers became stronger and faster. The music started flowing like the river near the banyan tree.
After 2.5 years of daily practice, Arjun gave his first public performance in the village temple during a big festival. The same people who once laughed at him now sat silently with tears in their eyes. His music was so deep, so beautiful and full of emotion that even the birds stopped singing to listen. News of his talent spread to nearby villages and then to the big cities. Years later, Arjun became one of the most respected musicians in the country. When a young reporter asked him, "What is the secret of your success?" Arjun smiled calmly and replied, "I was not specially talented. I was not lucky. I simply refused to quit on the difficult days. Every small practice session was like adding one drop of water to an earthen pot. One drop seems useless, but when you keep adding drops every single day for years, the pot fills up and finally overflows with pure, sweet music."
Now, let me tell you the second inspiring story. In a dense forest lived a small sparrow named Mira. Mira was the smallest bird in the entire forest, and she dreamed of flying high above the tallest trees and crossing the great river to see the beautiful world on the other side. The other birds laughed at her. They said, "Mira, you are too small and too weak. The strong wind will blow you away. The big birds cannot even cross that river easily. How will you do it?" Mira felt sad, but she did not give up. Every morning she would practice flying short distances from one branch to another, then to the next tree, then across the small stream. She practiced when her wings felt tired. She practiced when it was windy. She practiced when the other birds teased her. One day, a big storm came to the forest. Heavy rain fell and strong winds blew. Many big birds hid in their nests, but little Mira remembered her dream. She waited for a small break in the storm and started flying. The wind pushed her back many times. She felt scared and exhausted, but she kept flapping her wings. Slowly, she crossed the wide river and reached the other side. When the storm ended, the other birds were amazed to see Mira safely on the other shore. She had seen new flowers, new trees, and new horizons. From that day, no one laughed at her small size again. When the birds asked her how she did it, Mira replied softly, "I was small, but I never stopped trying. I took one small flight every day, and when the big moment came, all those small practices gave me the strength to cross the river." My dear friend, these two stories together carry the complete message for your English journey. Arjun teaches us the power of daily practice despite difficulties. Mira teaches us that your size, age, or current level does not matter. Consistent small efforts can help you cross big challenges. Let me share 5 deep and powerful lessons from both stories that every English learner must remember and apply. First, your starting point does not decide your ending. Arjun started with a broken sitar and Mira with tiny wings. You may have started with limited vocabulary or fear of speaking. That is completely fine. What matters is that you start and continue. Second, consistency is more powerful than talent. Both Arjun and Mira succeeded through daily small practice, not sudden miracles. 20 to 30 minutes of focused English practice every day will create wonders over time. Third, mistakes and tough days are normal. Arjun's bleeding fingers and Mira's struggle against the wind show us that difficulties are part of growth. Every mistake you make in English is teaching you something valuable. Fourth, protect your dream from negative voices. The villagers laughed at Arjun and the birds laughed at Mira, but they stayed focused. Ignore the noise and keep practicing. Fifth,
Trust the process even when results are slow. For years, Arjun saw little progress and Mira flew only short distances, but one day everything came together. Here is my special challenge for you today. After listening to these 2 stories, take one small action right now. Record yourself speaking for 1 or 2 minutes about your own dream in English, or write a short paragraph about what these stories taught you. Then commit to one small daily English practice for the next 30 days. After 1 month, come back to the comments and share your experience. Your story might become the 3rd inspiring story for someone else. My friend, your English journey is your own beautiful music and your own brave flight. It may feel imperfect today, but with patience and daily effort, it will become something extraordinary. You are not too late. You are not too small. You are not without potential. You only need to keep showing up. I believe in you. Even if we have never met, I deeply believe in you because I have seen hundreds of ordinary people become confident English speakers by refusing to quit. You have the same strength inside you. So take a deep breath, smile, and feel grateful for this moment. Then go practice your English with joy. Make mistakes, learn from them, and keep moving forward. Your future self is already proud of you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you for caring about your growth. I am truly proud of you. Keep listening to inspiring stories, keep practicing every day, and never forget that your story is still being written. Until next time, practice with love, be kind to yourself, and remember, you got this. I will see you in the next lesson. Take care, my friend.